So, hello friends, welcome to this class. Today we are going to discuss the text of prologue to the Canterbury Tales, and the first line of the prologue to the Canterbury Tales are from where the text starts that when that April with his sour suit when that April with his sour suit the drought of March hath perched to the root and highest every vein in sweet liquor, of which virtue engendered is the flower. When Zephyrus eke with his sweet breath inspired hath in every whole tender heath the tender crops, and the young sun hath in the rams his half course he run, and, and small falls make melody that sleepen at the night with open eye. So Geoffrey Chaucer wrote Canterbury Tales to this explanation of this that the next line of this poem is so pricked him nature in her courage, then longing folk to go on pilgrimage, and palmiers far to second strange strands to fern halls north in sundry lawns, and especially from every source end of England to Canterbury they wend, the holy blissful martyr for to seek that him hath helpen when that they were sick. We feel that in that season on a day in Southwark at the tabard as I lay, ready to ready to wander on my pilgrimage to Canterbury with full devout courage. At night were come into that host, hostelry, well 9 and 20 in a campaign. Half sundry folk by adventure if fall in fellowship, and pilgrims were they ale that toward Canterbury golden ride. Next line is the chambers and the stables were wide and well we were exceed at best, and certainly when the sun was to rest, so had I spoken with them every cone that I was of her fellowship anon, and made forwards early for to rise to take our way there as I you devise, but nathless while I have rhyme and space, here that I further in this tale space, me think it accordant to reason to tell you all the condition of each of them, him so as it seemed me, and which they were and of what degree, and in what ray that they were in, and at a night then all I first begin. So the first tale starts from here. The first character in the Chaucer's Canterbury tales is the knight. So knight's description is given by Chaucer very beautifully, and what Chaucer wrote about the knight is described here very well in the very simple way, but in midland language. This is something different from the modern language. So a knight there was, and that a worthy man. That knight was very worthy. 1 minute. Yes, let's. That knight was worthy man. So we will discuss about the knight. Discuss the characteristics of knight. So Chaucer wrote further that a knight there was, and that a worthy man. That knight was very much eligible. That knight was worthy. Worthy means yogya. That from the time that he first began, that from the time that he first began, that from the time that he first began, when he started his career first to ride an out. He wanted to ride, and he started his career by riding, by riding the horses, and he loved chivalry. He loved courageous tasks, courageous works. He loved chivalry. Chivalry means होता है bravery and adventurous work. Truth and honor. Truth and honor. Truth means truth. Honor means honor. Freedom and courtesy. He loved freedom and courtesy. Full worthy was he in his lords were. There were so many lords, but he was full worthy. No lack of quality was in him. The knights. And next, the quality of this page is something uh, lesser than the virtual quality of this text. So full worthy was he in his lords were, and there too had he ridden no man fair, as well in Christendom as in Athens, and ever honored for his worthiness. At Alexander he was Alexander he was when it was one full often time had he the board begun. Above alienatius in prose, in fellow had the realized in a ruse. No Christian man so often of this degree in Grenade at the siege had he be. And he be of Algeria in Grenade at the siege and rides in of Algiers and ridden in Belmiri. At Leeds, at Leeds was he, and at Sutton when they were on and in the Great Sea. At many a noble army had he be. He had a noble army in his kingdom, of which he was a knight. And there are some words which are very important to explain. So, word was, let's discuss the words which are given in this description of night. So, first word is like, I shall discuss it later because I have to complete the text of the Canterbury Tales. So, next line is, at mortal battles, at mortal battles had he been 15. He was of 15 years old in his fatal uh, battle, and foughten for our faith at Trimicin in lists threes, and a slain his foe. This like this worthy knight had been also sometime with the Lord of Platy, Aegean, another Elathine in Turkey, and evermore he had a sovereign prize, and thought he was worthy, he was wise. Next line is wise, and of his port he as meek as is a maid. He never ate no villainy said in all his life, unto no manner white. He was a very prophet, gentle knight, but far to learn you of his array. His horse was his horse was good, but he was not gay. Of fustian he word a jeepon, all besmuttered, all besmuttered was his habergeon, for he was late become from his voyage, and went far to doom his pilgrimage. So some words are very difficult to some word also which are to be discussed, but I shall discuss it later. Like there are some word like listies. What is listies? What in the reference of meaning? The listies is used. The faith is slain is know, foe is known, and this il Ike is known by you all, and this ilk या ilk या इसको ilk बोलेंगे. 7 numbers is something murdered, or this is used in the meaning of murdered or slaughtered. Was he had been also sometime with the Lord of Platy. अब this Platy means होता है this is one type of place name. Yeah, it is a name of place in the Anatolia. Anatolia में place का name है. Again is also again means against. What the word is against. Another Elathine means होता है a man who is not Christian in Turkey, and evermore he had a sovereign prize. This is one type of supreme authority and supremacy, And though he was worthy, he was wise. He was worthy, he was wise. So next is the square. So I shall read the square. The third is the human. A human had he and servant Nemo. At that time for him list right so, and he was clad he coat and hood of green, a sheaf of peacock arms bright and keen. Under his belt he bar full thriftily well could he dress his tackle humanly, his arms rubbed not with feathers love, and in his hand he bare a mighty bow, a knot weed had he with a brown pieces of woodcraft. Well could he all the uses, upon his arm he bare a gay bracer, and by his side a sword and a buckler, and on that other side a gay dagger, harnessed well and sharp as point of spear, a Christopher on his breast of silver sheen, an horn he bare the baldric was of sea green, a posture was he soothly as I guess. So this Chaucer discussed about the square, the human. Now the turn is of the prioress. What prioress prioress's quality are discussed by Chaucer in his Canterbury Tales is written in this page. So the following page is going to be read as the description about Chaucer. Now Chaucer's prioress. So prioress's quality is there was also a nun, a prioress, that of that of her smiling was full simple and quiet. Her greatest oath was but by Saint Eloi, and she was called Madame Elentine. Full wheel she sung the service of divine, intuned in her nose full seemly, and French she spake full fair and featly. After the soul of Stratford at Pope, for French of Paris was to higher unknown. At meet well he thought was she Bethel. She let no morsel from her lips fall, ni ni wet her fingers in her sauce tape. Well could she carry a morsel and well kept that no drop nay fell upon her breast. In court she was set full muscle, her lest, her overlip wiped she so clean that in her cup there was no farthing seen of creek when she drunken had here draught full seemly after her meat she wrought. Now it is one type of poetry of Chaucer and Chaucer and likely she was a great sport and full pleasant and amiable of port and penned her to counterfeit cheer of court and being stylized of manner and to win holden dignity of reverence, but for to speak in of her conscience, she was so charitable and so piteous, she would weep if that she sought a mouse, not in a trap mouse, if it were deed or bleed of snake boundaries, had she fed with roasted flesh or milk and wasted bread, but sore wept she if one of them were dead, or if men smote in with yard smart, and all was conscience and tender heart, full smiley her wimple pinched was, her nose treatise, her eyes grey as glass, her mouth full small and there too soft and red, but secretly she had a fair forehead. It was almost a Spain broad-eyed robe, for hardly she was not under grove. So this was the end of the poetry Paris. And now next page we will discuss was something full full Patties was her cloak as I was wore of small coral aboard about his arms she wore a pair of eddies crowded all with green, and thereon hung a brooch of gold full seen, on which there was first right a crowned capital A, and after emergency to Omnia, and the one with here had she, that was her chaplain and illustrious three. So now there is a line crowned A ka what is the meaning of crowned A, and after emergency omnia what is the meaning of this three word emergency omnia, tell me in the comment box. Okay, thank you, good night.